Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days. Welcome to this week's Smackdown Live review. It was difficult for Smackdown because they've got to follow such a fantastic Raw, and in truth they couldn't reach the Raw levels. The end to Raw is just one of the best endings, easily of the year, if not of the past few years. It had surprise, it had impact, it had an iconic moment. Kevin Owens finally getting his hands on that title. I say that title. The Universal Championship has been elevated already, hasn't it, to the kind of WWE Championship level. The way that he was looking at this new bout, this newly created title, just like screaming at it just meant everything to him, and it really, highlighted that prestige. He's basically just been given the WWE title. That's how it comes across. Everyone's saying finally he's got it. No one cares that it's a newly created title. So I think they've played it perfectly, and I think they knocked it out of the park. Very difficult for SmackDown to follow that, and in truth they couldn't. Started up though with a recap of last week's Talking Smack, which had that great promo from The Miz, talking about how he needs to be taken more seriously. How dare Daniel Bryan call him the coward? We touched on it last week, it was great. It was a great promo from The Miz. It's some of his best work. It's how he opened up the show. It was quite interesting how Daniel Bryan, was talking to Shane. Shane saying you should apologise to The Miz. Shane was like, you shouldn't involve with talent. And Daniel Bryan said, I find that rich coming from someone that's got beef with Brock Lesnar at the moment. Now, that was a feud that didn't get furthered this week, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I was very surprised they didn't touch on what happened on Raw, where Steph just accepted the apology with little resistance, $500 fine, and accepted the apology. So I was surprised that bit wasn't furthered, but they did further the Miz storyline. Clearly, I say clearly, but it doesn't look like it's going to result in Daniel Bryan returning. In fact, it's going to result in Dolph Ziggler against The Miz at Backlash. That was announced on this week's Talking Smack. And it's how it opened the show as well. Ziggler came out and interrupted The Miz. Basically said that, let's have a fight, prove you're not a coward, no ref, no bell, no title. And I wrote in my notes, this felt like something that should happen on Raw. This felt raw. It was great. I loved how the kind of opening promo built. The whole start of the show I thought was very strong. I enjoyed The Miz referencing that chicken commercial as well. The Miz saying that he's the person they turn to when they need a chicken for an ad. I enjoyed that because that happened at SummerSlam, and kind of goes in the face of what he's trying to achieve now. It's very difficult to say, I'm not a coward and come across as this strong competitor, when at SummerSlam they did have him dressed as a chicken. So it's good that he got that as a mention. First proper match, Vaudevillians against the Hype Bros. Hype Bros win. It was quite a hard-hitting match. Broski boot and a hard strike in the corner from Mojo Rawley. It was fine. Vaudevillians aren't really getting a great deal of chance to shine. There's certainly no push behind them. Bit of a promo beforehand, but it was throwaway. I really feel for the Vaudevillians at the moment. Right that the Hype Bros progress though, because they're new to the main roster anyway, and I think it's right that they get a chance to show what they're about. So Hype Bros go to the next round. Styles backstage wearing Cena's headband bumps into Apollo Crews, and it was quite a fun little promo. He keeps talking about how he's now the face that runs the place, and another week that we haven't seen Cena, and I think it'll be a few more weeks as well, because from what I've heard he's off doing a TV show again. But there's a match that's set anyway for Apollo Crews against AJ Styles. Crews comes out while Styles is doing a promo in the ring. This match was good. Big back body drop from Crews for a 2 count. Phenomenal forearm, wins it for Styles. The match didn't do much to help Crews, but it was fine for what it was. At least there was a purpose to it, and I've said this before, they're not just booking random matches. Fantastic character development for Heath Slater. I loved the trailer promo skit, if you will, because I think they should do more of that. let's see the characters in the real world. I think it's important to see, you know, how they live, where they live, and find out a bit more about them. And I really enjoyed Renee Young going to Heath's trailer, meeting his wife, who kept talking about food. You know, she got excited about pizza crusts and icing, and you know, they were sat there eating squirty cheese and crackers, and Rhino's making a sad face, and it was weird, but it was entertaining. It went on a bit too long, in truth. But I'd like to see more of that. I want to, you know, what's Apollo Crews do when he's at home? Where does he live? What's his home life like? Just give me a few minutes of that so I can invest more into the character. Bray Wyatt cuts his usual blah 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 promo. Orton comes out. I'm into the Orton Wyatt feud, and there will be a match at Backlash, but the build this week just wasn't anything special. It's exactly what you would expect. Nikki Bella next on commentary. Knew that Carmella would jump her. Natalya, Alexa Bliss against Naomi and Becky. I loved this match. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it because there was loads that was happening. It was good pace. Really good pace to this match. Naomi's entrance, just it's one of my highlights. I honestly look forward to her coming out. When she's dancing around, she's absolutely amazing. I love the energy that she brings. She's changed the ring attire as well. Slightly different this week. So it's not that kind of bodysuit. Now she's got like they're like tight trousers and a top, and you know, it's all right. It's good. Her entrance is still great. As I said, I still look forward to it. And Becky, you know, properly over. She really is the star of this women's division on Smackdown. And I loved Alexa doing this when Becky was coming out. Clearly just didn't want to listen to her music, which I thought was, you know, it's good work from Alexa, just those moments. Didn't go unnoticed. Carmella jumping Nikki anyway, wasn't a great surprise, but I think Carmella looks awesome in this feud. You know, at the end as well, where she's thrown Nikki into the barricade, she stands on top of the barricade. You know, this isn't the Carmella that I was seeing in NXT. The Carmella in NXT was nice, and she's like fabulous and all that, and if you watch my earlier NXT review videos, you'll see I wasn't a fan of it. I love this heel Carmella. I love this hard hitting, you know, I love it. I'm really into it. I don't want her to keep coming out saying that she's fabulous and the Queen of Staten Island and all that kind of stuff. I want her to be hard hitting, to the point, don't mess with me. That's what I want to watch. So yeah, I was really into it. In-ring action, as I said, was really good. A real cheap roll-up victory for Alexa and Natalya. Doesn't mean anything. We move forward to this six-pack challenge, which I'm really looking forward to. Backlash actually looks really good. I like the look of the card. Oh my god, I need to tell you something that I absolutely hate. I absolutely hate this, right? And it's not often that I use that word, and it's not often that I'm really down on something, unless you're called Eva Marie. But I really, really hate, underlined, these Kurt Hawkins promo things, right? And the reason that I hate them is because all they've done is they have taken well-known like quotes about Chuck Norris. If you Google Chuck Norris, you know, you'll Chuck Norris quotes. All the quotes that they're using for Kurt Hawkins are ones that I've read years before about Chuck Norris. It kind of makes me angry because this isn't fresh. This isn't interesting to me or new to me. It might be new to some of you that, you know, haven't seen these quotes before, and they are certainly funny, don't get me wrong, but it's not original, and they've not even taken an idea and developed it. They are literally using the exact same quotes that have been on the internet about Chuck Norris for years. It cheapens Kurt Hawkins' character for me. It doesn't add any value. I can understand if it's the first time you're seeing them that you'll find them entertaining, as I did when I first saw them. The one about, you know, Chuck Norris, not Kurt Hawkins. Chuck Norris can win a game of Connect 4 in just 3 moves. is fantastic. Anyway, rant over. Headbangers against Rhino and Slater. I loved actually how this match ended, because Slater was kind of out in the ring. Rhino gets him, drags him over, goes back through the ropes, goes, "Tag me!" Tag me! He gets the tag, he goes in, gore, 1, 2, 3, they progress. I don't think this will be the only time we see the Headbangers. I don't care if it is, to tell the truth. I was never a fan. They're alright. It's fine to have them back. If it's for a week or two, absolutely fine. I don't think that we need them longer than that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see them, you know, again. They did a fine job. Alpha against the Usos. Hype Bros against Heath and Rhino. I'm not sure if that's next week's Smackdown. I should imagine so, with the final, I imagine, being Alpha against Heath and Rhino. And I would imagine that Alpha pick up the victory in this tournament. Next we get a weird segment. This Darren Milkman Millman, just some guy who said that he could have a match, taking all his clothes off, just stood there in his pants, and then out comes Kane. Kane choke slams him. So it was quite a funny moment, I will give it that, when Kane's coming down and he's desperately trying to get his clothes back on. And on Talking Smack, Daniel Bryan tries to get a Millman chant going. So I don't know if they're trying to get this guy over, but the segment was just so, I don't know. This guy would have got over if they weren't using jobbers on WWE, but we're so used to seeing job. I mean, like on Raw, we saw Americo, and so seeing someone, you know, random like Millman just doesn't have any effect these days, because we're used to seeing jobbers again now. Maybe they're trying to get him over. Maybe we'll see him again. I hope not. He didn't do anything for me. And then we get to the main event, Ambrose against Corbin. This was a good match. This was a good main event. As I said, for me, Ambrose kind of losing his way. You know, we had the Ambrose Asylum, we had Mitch, the Plant. You know, there was fun stuff that was happening, and just haven't seen anything like that since Ambrose has been champion. And, you know, there's nothing unpredictable about him. I'd like to see some backstage skits with Ambrose. I'd like to see them kind of furthering his character and his mindset and what it's like to be a champion, what he gets up to in his spare time, and, you know, similar to the Heath Slater stuff. But for me, he's just gone just slightly off the ball. Don't get me wrong. Don't want you to sit there thinking that I'm hating on Ambrose. I absolutely am not hating on Ambrose, but I just think he's got a job to do, and he's got a weight to carry, because he is the champion of a show that needs to compete against what happened on Raw with Triple H and Kevin Owens and all of that. And just coming out and having a match against Baron Corbin doesn't do it. I enjoyed the bit after. So I enjoyed the bit when AJ Styles interfered, and, you know, he gets caught on the top rope and he's clearly in pain. And Ambrose comes over and he's like, "That looks like it hurt, mate." You know, gives him a pat on the back and everything. He's talking smack to him. I enjoyed that bit. Yeah, so basically, I can't remember who won. AJ interfered, someone got disqualified. But as I said, I thought the match was alright. It was a fine main event. This was a decent show. For me, I enjoyed the women the most. I think that the women's division is on fire at the moment on Smackdown. I love the hard-hitting Carmella. I think there's a new women's title that they're all competing for. I think that Nikki returning is good. I think Becky is really over. I love Naomi's gimmick. I think Alexa Bliss is doing some great work in her own way. Natalia's always up there, you know. So I think the women's division's really, really strong at the moment. And so I'm quite excited for Backlash, see who gets that title. I don't think it will be, but I'd love it to be Naomi. I love her gimmick. I'm really on board. She's definitely in my top 5, like, right now, favourite performers. And, you know, I look forward to, as I said, her coming out. Yeah, so not a bad show by any means. Good, just nowhere near, and realistically could it? How could it match what we saw on Raw? But yeah, I'm loving it. I think the brand split's wicked. I think the brand split's been a really positive thing so far, and you know, we're getting more pay-per-views. You know, we're building towards Backlash. Then we'll get Clash of Champions. Obviously, we've got Survivor Series on the horizon as well, a few months away. What time is that? Is it October, November? I think it's November, isn't it, for that? So a couple of months still, but there's enough to keep us occupied till we get to that point. It's brilliant. Really, really enjoying it all. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Really would appreciate it. Give the video a like if you liked it. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Wrestling Days UK. I've got loads of videos coming up this week. Loads of zombie Mattel reviews coming up. I think we'll do a few top 5s as well. Might even have a look at the top 5 opponents for Kevin Owens. That's the one that's been going around my head. So if you've got any suggestions, drop it in the comments, drop it over to Twitter. I am trying to catch up on all of the comments and all of the notifications and everything. It's been crazy, man. It's been really, really crazy time. So as I said, I will go back and catch up on it all. The Sub Hall of Fame is open. Have a watch of that video, see if that's something you'd be interested in partaking in. The prints for that are going to get sent out for those of you that have been successful, get sent out at the end of this week. And the video where you will get inducted will be the September Hall of Fame. We've got to get the August one done first, but then at the end of September we'll induct someone into the Hall of Fame, another wrestler. I can tell you the August inductee has been decided, and it is Kurt Angle. To vote for who you want to see in, you have to jump over to Twitter and answer the poll when the poll is up. The poll's been up for the past couple of days on Twitter for August, and many congratulations to Kurt Angle, who will be the August Wrestling Days inductee. So got that video coming up as well. Awesome, guys. That's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.